Batman, Catwoman, issue 11, Tom King and Clay Mann. So, penultimate issue of this. It's been on kind of a weird ground. It's been kind of hard to remember some of the plot beats from issue to issue because there's been like more delays. Because the last I checked, the last issue was 2 months ago, right? So we skipped a month. And having the three timelines and having kind of the disjointed like storytelling order is making it really kind of tough to keep track of. I would also say that the last issue felt kind of a bit weird in how it kind of made me feel about the Selena. It kind of made her a little bit unlikable, I think. This issue doesn't have that problem per se. This issue is a little bit more straightforward once it gets going, but I did have a hard time at first trying to like, okay, where are we in each of these timelines? And you know, it's weird having scenes with Phantasm again, you know, Andrea again, when we haven't seen her in like 4 issues, and it's like, oh, now it's revealing kind of like part of her story that they've kind of glossed over to this point, which is that she commits suicide because of what she ultimately did to this family whose child she kind of unknowingly took. She thought she was just taking like an orphan, but it was like a kid that the Joker stole from a family.
Not just any orphan. She's led to believe that it's Joker's kid.
Yeah, she thinks she's like...
And that the reason she takes the kid is because she's like, well, the Joker can't raise this kid. I'll give it a better chance. And then, you know, she realizes what she's done. And yeah, it was just trying to keep track of all of these timelines and where we're at. Like, it's a little bit easier. It's just the modern, you know, because the past stuff is, you know, not too tough. In the future, we have, you know, Helena and her mom, you know, and her whole argument with Dick in this one, I really did enjoy. But yeah, the stuff with the Phantasm and the Joker, and it just, I don't know, it didn't land for me. Because like Pete said, we've been like 4 issues without the Phantasm. So like her just popping back up, I don't know. It's very unbalanced.
Yeah, with very little kind of fanfare, or like as if she has been missing. I don't know. It felt a bit weird to me. At least this time, I didn't have the problem where the midpoint story and the earliest story were confusing and swapping. Like at least that wasn't a problem this time because the mid story was all Phantasm. But like the stuff, you know, because and the stuff in the past was fine. It was Catwoman finally giving in, saying to Batman, "I got you a Christmas present. I'm going to take you to see Joker," which followed on from an introduction with Riddler where she was going to not like tell him where Riddler was hiding, but then Riddler wouldn't stop, you know, talking about how good his riddle was. It's like, do you not get it? Do you not get the riddle I told you?
He's sitting in the dumpster. So what I'm really realizing is Tom King really likes writing Riddler and Catwoman playing off of each other, because between this and Killing Time, I feel like he just has a whole lot of fun with those two personalities. And this one, it really did make me laugh. Him sitting,
no, it was funny,
not being able to hold himself. Like, no, he has to tell her why this is so good.
Yeah, why the riddle's that great. Yes.
Yeah. So
and there's some great art here. Obviously, Selena like sitting on the dumpster is quite you know, seductive or sultry as she usually is. The full page of Batman like standing there with the Batmobile behind him is pretty gorgeous. Like it is constantly a very, very pretty book.
Even the stuff with Phantasm has this weight to it, right? There's a lot of shadows.
Yeah.
When you see her in full, and it works.
Kind of missing because there was 1 or 2 issues that it wasn't Man, and then there was one that they felt kind of rushed. This kind of feels like it's back to just full on. Like this is the top tier quality of Man the entire time.
Yeah.
Like, the full page where Andrea is like taking off her mask and she's holding the baby. Like that's a great page. Like, you know, like it's just
and the coloring too, because the you know, the Phantasm's all gray, but her hair really sticks out against it.
Yeah.
You know?
That ginger flourish, if you will.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, and you've got old woman Selena and Helena bonding. Helena, you know, saying she doesn't know where Selena is to Dick, and like sort of telling him to get the hell out of the Batcave, and then having a heart to heart with Selena, which is like kind of a contrast to what the last issue was. But
the first time Bruce ever dressed up for Halloween, which I have a hard time believing, but was for Helena, and he's dressed as Superman.
Well, the first time he dressed up for Halloween as an adult, as a father, I assume.
That's what I mean, but like I have the hard time not like I mean, I guess maybe, but even for the Robins, you don't think he ever, I
I
don't
mean,
know.
I'm sure there's probably some sort of annual somewhere where they did that as
Yeah.
a fun issue, but
But the whole idea of him changing because of his daughter, like, and
I can buy the idea that Bruce Wayne, once he became an adult, that he never
mm,
cared about dressing up for Halloween until he had a daughter who was old enough who would
yeah,
appreciate him dressing up for Halloween. And
yeah, well, because
it's a nice reference to the
yeah,
fairground issue of Superman,
mm-hmm,
because that's what it references. It references that
right,
he dressed up as Superman because he actually remembered doing it for that.
right, yeah, and so I do like that little moment that and that's one of her cherished memories with her dad. But yeah, because all that stuff really worked for me. The Helena and Selena stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a weird point in the book now. I really think the shipping schedules hurt it.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that the very dense and constantly moving of three timelines has made
Mm-hmm.
it difficult to kind of keep track of. Even on a monthly schedule, I think it would be a little difficult. Never mind
Mm-hmm.
all of the extra delays. So it's probably going to read better in trade, which is interesting. I do think some of the complaints from last issue were very much different. Were very objective and less to do with how it was presented. That was about characterization. This issue doesn't have that problem, so this kind of feels like back to the form of the previous few issues, but still maybe a little bit burdened with the format of which the story's
Yeah.
taking place. So, great art though, and there is some moments that kind of work. So, yeah, I don't know what I'm ultimately saying here, except that it's kind of
Yeah.
all right, but still definitely much less than all of Tom King's other current books.
Yeah, I'm ready for the last issue to come out, so we can be done with it.
Well, luckily for you, that's next.
Yes, I know, and I still do like the whole Christmas theme because they keep working the song in. That's the title, and still, just the original premise where it felt like a Christmas Carol through Batman. With the three different timelines and whatnot.
It's so funny that it was meant to go for a year, so presumably it was going to start and end around Christmas season.
Mm-hmm.
But it's went a year and a half because of all the delays. So we're going to be having the last issue in early summer, which is just really weird.
Christmas in July,
Yeah, so it's kind of weird and unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what are you giving Batman Catwoman, Matt?
7.5.
7.5. Okay. Yeah, I think that's. I'll probably just go with a straight 7. I think, but yeah, that sounds about fair.